Now that you understand what a professional practice issue is and how to recognize a few examples, this module will discuss a logical, step-by-step process you can follow to bring your professional practice concern forward. Here you will see the process for resolving a professional practice issue. The diagram shows 4 steps to follow. Number 1, verify the concern. Number 2, take appropriate action. Number 3, document the situation. Number 4, follow up. The model is cyclical in nature. When you reach the last step, follow up, you should begin the process again to see if the issue has been resolved. This is an ongoing process that can be incorporated into your nursing practice. The diagram demonstrates a logical, step-by-step process you can follow to bring your professional practice concern forward. Each step will be discussed in more detail in the next few slides. As outlined in the previous chapter, the first step is to verify that a professional practice concern exists. The quiz can help you determine if you have such an issue. In defining the issue, it also helps to write it down on paper. It is important to gather the facts, be objective, and separate personal feelings from professional concerns. Sometimes it helps to debrief with a colleague or your shop steward or branch executive member who can help you determine if the issue is a violation of the collective agreement, a professional practice issue, or an overlap of both. Once you've determined there is a professional practice issue, you must take action. Your course of action will be determined by whether there is immediate, imminent, or potential risk of harm to patients. There may be situations where you will need to intervene immediately to address the concern and report the situation later, or it may be something that is not urgent and can wait until the next day to contact your manager. Discussing the issue with your supervisor or manager promotes problem solving at the lowest level. Action may be taken as an individual or as a group. If no harm has occurred and you are able to successfully resolve the concern, further action may not be necessary or required. It's up to you to use your professional judgment. If you are unable to resolve the situation, or if there continues to be a valid concern after attempting to address it with your manager, then you are obligated to document the situation using a professional practice form. See example and tool section, which helps you adhere to the ARNNL standards of practice. Seek assistance from your shop steward or branch executive member as necessary when preparing the documentation. All relevant documentation should be recorded and shared appropriately. Submit the completed form to your immediate supervisor and the PPC for review. Keep copies of all written correspondence, example, letters or emails requesting meetings, etc. While timelines are not generally included in this collective agreement article, as they are with the grievance process, there is no reason why you cannot include a reasonable time frame by which you expect a reply. This helps keep the process moving. Documenting using the professional practice form is outlined in more detail in Chapter 3. You should document each occurrence every time using a new form, regardless if you already submitted a form on the same issue. You must make the employer aware about the issue's frequency and the facts around the situation. If you do not document the issue each and every time it occurs, the employer may incorrectly assume the issue no longer exists or may underestimate its frequency and resources required to resolve the issue. Documenting can be time-consuming, but you must be patient with the mechanisms that are in place to bring about the change you want to see. Documentation is the key ingredient to building the evidence that can enable this change to happen. The final step in the process is to follow up. This is an important step whether you are the registered nurse who submitted the form or a member of the branch executive or PPC. Our research shows that members want to hear what happens to their form. What happened at the meeting? Was the issue resolved? Was it carried over to the next PPC meeting? Either way, members are interested in knowing what the outcomes are. If you submitted the form, find out who sits on your PPC and ask them about the situation. If you are a branch executive member or sit on the PPC, you should report back to the branch either at the branch meeting or by email. It is important to enhance the professional practice relationships and information sharing between the PPC, branch executive, and other registered nurses. At the back of the booklet, on page 44, you will find a Professional Practices Committee Success Form. Use this form to capture your good news stories that have come about as a result of taking a professional practice issue to the committee. You could tailor the form to include whatever information you'd like to share. You should get in the habit of always reporting back to members, even if the issue has not been resolved. Complete this form and send it along to your regional representative or RNU provincial office so we can share your good news with others. Remember the cyclical nature of the problem-solving process. You should use your professional judgment to continually assess whether the issue has been resolved or not, even if you already submitted a form. Do not wait to hear if the issue was resolved at the PPC level, as it may take weeks or more for the committee to meet. For example, if you experience the same professional practice issue on your very next shift, then you should begin the cycle again. Verify the concern, take action, document your concern on a new form, and follow up. Get in the habit of performing this assessment on every shift. Despite registered nurses' obligations and duty to address these situations, they may experience internal conflict between doing what is right for the client, not wanting to get involved in the situation, or assuming someone else will take care of the situation. The following practices may limit the sense of conflict a professional practice situation can bring. Focus on patient safety, not on laying blame. Objectively evaluate the situation, applying professional standards of practice. Adhere to ethical principles of fairness, dignity, respect, and honesty. Maintain confidentiality, sharing information only as necessary. And work as a team, seeking appropriate colleague and administrative support. It is important to reflect on the issue and make the appropriate decision based on the factual, objective information. If you are unsure, you can always debrief with a colleague, RNU volunteer, or contact RNU provincial office. Close out this presentation and check My RNU for the next learning module. Module 3, Documentation.